Parachute. I'm going to tie it to a Flav. And it's just pretty basic parachute pattern. You can change it, change the colors, and change the size, and have blue wing olive or PMD or you name it, to whatever you want.
Go ahead, Trey. Who did your pamphlets?
Pardon?
Who made these up? You did?
Yeah.
You did a good job.
No, thank you.
That's what I should be doing instead of tape and everything. I have a good memory, but it's short.
What did you say? I forgot.
I said I have a good memory, but it's short.
See, you remembered that.
I know. I just said it 2 seconds ago. Yeah.
Basic idea on tying this, you'll find, is very similar to the first one we tied, just changing materials a little bit. So we're going to start again.
Yeah.
Right here at the wing position. I don't know if you've noticed, but most of the time when I tie in my thread, I tie it in with a very short length sticking out and then cover it up. And that saved me having to clip it.
Yeah.
And I figure, I've been tying 40-some years. Over the years, all that thread I've clipped and thrown away. By doing it this way, I have saved
about 35 spools already.
I probably saved anywhere from 7 to 11 cents in thread.
It's going to break the bank, isn't it?
Pardon?
That'll break the bank.
Yeah. Actually, what it really saves is a little time. It's just one step you cut out. And that's why I do it. So again, we're going to use some Antron yarn. When I'm tying, usually when I'm tying for myself, is what I'll do is I'll sit down and I'll tie. Usually I work at a dozen at a time, unless I've got a box that I went fishing with and threw 6 flies for some reason or another. I have a problem with trees grabbing them.
It's a tree's fault.
Yeah. But I'll tie several flies at a time. So when I'm doing this, what I'll do is I'll cut off a length about a foot long or so, whatever I feel I can handle reasonably. And then when I tie it in, I'll fold it over right here at the end and tie it in. Like this. And then, like I say, I cut it off at an angle. Then this would be longer, and I got enough here for one more fly, but just keep working it on up and up till I've used up the whole length. Jimmy?
Yes?
That picture of me you put on the internet?
Uh-oh.
Okay, go ahead.
That was horrible. It looked just like me. Okay, we're going to do this just like we did on the floating pool. We're going to stand it up and then make a good base around the bottom of it. Then I'm using a dyed grizzly. This one's fairly long, so like I mentioned before, to keep it more manageable, I'll cut it in half. Tie it in right behind the wing post, and then tie it up the wing post. Then I'm going to tie in a shuck again. This one time I've got some green. Just pull out a few fibers here. I'll keep this shuck a little more sparse than I did the last one. Probably should have cut that off a little more. Okay, now we're going to take a turkey biot feather. I'm going to use the long side here. And pull it off. And I'm tying it in by the tip, but the tips are very weak on these, so I'm going to go up a little ways, get a little stronger section of the biot. Secure that well. Then I'm going to pull this out and hold it with the thread, then wrap them both together. Oop, hit the point.
Did he strip it enough, Gary?
What's the matter here? I've got a very weak one, I guess. Wrap this up. I've got the seam on this toward the rear, so you see as I wrap this up, it looks like it's a variegated body color.
Mm-hmm.
You can turn it over the other way, wrap it up. Then as you wrap, you cover that up, and you've got a smoother looking body, not a variegated looking body. But I'll bring that up to not quite the wing. And then I'm going to dub. Yep. It's best to use the dubbing. I'm sure you all know the rule for dubbing, how much to use. You take what you think you need, pull half of it out, and then use half of that. A lot of people, I think, use way too much dubbing. Yeah, I'm going to take a little bit up in front. And make a thorax section, which is a little thicker than the rest of the body of the abdomen section. Then I like to take about 5 wraps. This is just a single hackle instead of a double. Again, counterclockwise. Then when I get through, and what I do is I grab the wing material and kind of pull back here, and it pulls the rest of those fibers up. So I can go back over, under, and pull it. And if you look real close, you'll see when I pull that I take up a little bit of slack. There wasn't a lot there, but I did a little bit. The tighter you can get this, why the less chance you have of your hackle riding up the wing, because you don't want it to do that. And tie this down. And we're ready to shape the head and whip finish again. For years, I've been proud of my heads. Made them real small and nice and pointy. And 2 or 3 years ago, I can't remember, it was the expo here or somewhere, I was watching one of the tyers. I thought, gee, he's a good tyer, but he sure puts big, ugly, sloppy heads.
Must have been me, I bet you it was. Gary, one of the two.
But anyway, I don't know if he could tell I was thinking that or what, but he had a book of pictures of real flies. He said, look at these, none of them have little pointy heads. And
Must have been you.
I think probably some do, but a good share of them were big, bulky heads.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to be still somewhat neat on them, but
I know Andre Pugnon, he always liked prominent heads, you know.
mm-hmm.
He got me tying that way.
But, for years I worked so hard to keep those heads tiny and small. And then we'll just trim this, and when you trim those, you want to do it with one slice. Just kind of bend it as you go. You don't want to snip it across. Wild hair there.
Hey, Bobby, if you feel like taking a 5 or 10 minute break, let me know.
Okay? I think Randy's trying to tell me something.
Yeah.